Hello and welcome to our channel, Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artist of Marstream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gail Schickley. Welcome to Solo Arts Heal. Tonight featuring Melinda Buckley, who will join us in a few moments with excerpts from her show, Mother and Me, the story of a larger-than-life Hungarian Mama Rose who's slowly waltzing into dementia as her Broadway baby, Melinda, shimmies into middle age. I'm so honored to have had the opportunity to curate and host Solo Arts Heal for the past year, a show born from working with Marsh founder Stephanie Wiseman as part of a collective of solo artists whose shows embrace the healing power of the arts. We began with 9 artists who together offer a dozen different shows with the theme of healing and resilience, covering a wide range of topics, and all of whom have performed here. And you will also find them at soloartsheal.com. Along the way, we've met many other amazing artists whose shows we featured, and audiences everywhere have responded positively to performance and informants about these varied physical and mental health challenges, these wonderful shows. And add to that the pandemic, during which we've seen a dramatic rise in domestic violence, sexual violence, depression, and these are just some of the topics we've been covering this past year, plus once a month a focus on climate change and the healing of our Mother Earth. Solo Arts Heal presents show excerpts and audience Q&A, but full performances of these shows are developed to work in settings from theaters to medical centers and other places. And tonight, Melinda Buckley uses the power of theater to bring people together around another important issue, Alzheimer's, and mothers, and the struggles families face while caring for a loved one. Melinda has produced a special Zoom segment for our show, which we'll watch, followed by our talk back with her when the audience is encouraged to post comments and questions. Let me tell you something about our wonderful guest. Writer-performer Melinda Buckley has appeared on Broadway and in the national tours of several shows, including Crazy for You, A Chorus Line, and Bob Fosse's revival of Sweet Charity. She performed improv and sketch material all over New York City and has written and performed several short plays and solo shows, her latest in tonight's presentation being Mother and Me. On the other side of the table, Melinda has directed and or choreographed a wide variety of shows, films, commercials, and corporate events. Highlights include making the mouse dance in Columbia Pictures' Stuart Little 1 and 2, teaching Harrison Ford to tango in Working Girl, and most recently staging a spot with a team of 10-year-old girls and the New York Giants that aired in the Super Bowl in 2019. She worked Pat Birch on several episodes of Saturday Night Live and recently assisted Lonnie Price in the filming of Company for the New York Philharmonic, which starred Neil Patrick Harris, Patti LuPone, Stephen Colbert, Martha Plimpton, and John Cryer, the film of which is currently available on Netflix. As a creative director, writer, choreographer, Melinda has worked for such clients as Fox, ESPN, WeTV, Sesame Street, McDonald's, Microsoft, Pepsi, IBM, American Express, and Audi. She's a proud member of AEA, SAG-AFTRA, and SDC. So now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Melinda Buckley in excerpts from her show, Mother and Me.
Mother. Well, it's a big word. No? Okay. God. Mother. No offense, but it's the defining relationship of our lives. And it can be your life's work, trying to figure out, resolve, disentangle yourself from all of that. Some people can just do therapy, but for my particular Hungarian mother and me, I needed a whole show. October 2000. I'm going to start there because it was right around that time that, well, I wasn't the best daughter in the world. I got married at 45. I don't think younger women realize this, but when you get married for the first time at 45, it's like you're one of those marathon runners who come straggling in at the end. You know, no more cheering crowds, just smashed Dixie cups everywhere. You barely make it across that line, but you do. God damn it, I did it. And I did it big. Oh, yeah. I wore the dress. At an age when a smart Chanel suit would have been more appropriate, I wear the dress, and I have this big ceremony. And just as the music starts, and my brother Frank is about to walk me down that aisle, I turn to him and say, all right, look, you're on mom duty today. Well, I felt I had every right to say that. You see, I've been on mom duty my entire life, since I was this big. I was her confidant, her therapist, her translator. I lit her cigarettes. I mixed her highballs. I threw her a surprise birthday party when I was 10. I've been on call 24/7 for the past 45 years, and all I want right now is just a little break from all of that. And Mark, my intended, he was that break. Actually, he was more like a dream come true. We met online, and for our first date, we went to a little French cafe, and I knew it from the moment I saw him. Mark? Wow. I mean, hi, Melinda. Oh, so romantic. What's that? Oh, well, thank you. And you said all the right things, like how much younger I look in person. Well, we're going to have a little filter on this, so. Well, you don't look so bad yourself. What? Oh. Oh my God, he's funny. Handsome and funny. What are the odds? And he works on Wall Street, so cha-ching. Oh, but he plays saxophone. Jazz saxophone. Ladies, it's a musical equivalent to foreplay. And he has a dog. That's a commitment. He can commit. Well, to us, oh. We were married exactly 1 year from that date. It was finally happening. I was about to cross over that threshold to happily ever. Hey, Mom. What's up? Mom, nobody is taking money out of your account. Mom, we went through this last night, remember? Well, we went through all of this last night. Oh, shoot. I got to call you back, all right? 5 minutes? Hey, Frank. I know. I just got off the phone with her. No, I can't come home right now. Because I'm finally married, Frank. I can't just drop everything here in New York and drive 4.5 hours just to be Mom's. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Good. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I can't meet you for lunch today. I have a last-minute audition. Well, sweetheart, you married an actress. So sometimes I'm busy during the day and at night. Mom, nobody's taking money out of your account. I did check your balance. It's the same as what I gave you last night. Well, no, I don't have it in front of me. Frank, I can't come home right now. I know I'm the daughter, but you're the son. Can't you just go over there? What do you mean something's really up with her this time? No, sweetie, something's really up with my mom this time. Oh, stop. It's not always something with her. How can you say that? Oh, she so does not get between us. Mom, nobody is taking money out of your account. I'm not yelling. Why did I call you? You called me. Yes, about 50 times already. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. You know you can call me as much. Hey, don't hang up. Oh my God, it's not like her. I call back. I can't get through. I call a friend of hers, and I call her doctor, and he ticks off a number of things that could be going on, and somewhere in that conversation is the word dementia, and I'm like, no. It's not that. It's just my mom. Okay, this is going to sound harsh, but a lot of the symptoms of dementia are things that my mom's been displaying her whole life. Erratic mood swings, paranoia, easily agitated. I just thought it was an Eastern European thing. She could always go from 0 to 200 at the drop of a hat. Growing up, I used to call her Attila the Hungarian. And naturally, when she got upset, words and language would be the first thing to go. Plus, she was always dyslexic with certain letters, V's and W's. She could say them, just never in the right place. Wash the dishes, take your vitamins, bit of Christ in my goddamn Valium. Ironically, she drove a VW. My brother and I would always tease her mercilessly about all of this. And her response? Always the same. She'd light a cigarette, cross her eyes, and say, "Go to hell, darling, and tell them Jaja sent you." She was a character. But now, on top of hanging up on me all the time, she's refusing to go to the doctor. And when I try to set up at-home services, she cancels them. She won't let anybody in, even me sometimes. "Mom, it's me. Will you let me in? I've got your cigarettes. What took you so long?" Okay, to be honest, my relationship with my mom, well, I've heard it said that if somebody kisses you, you may love them. And if they slap you, you may hate them. But if they kiss you and then slap you, you are theirs forever. I am my mom's. I've been her lifeline as long as I can remember. And especially after my dad started disappearing. No good goddamn son of a bitch bested. Oh, I hope he drops dead wherever he is. She was a tad bitter. But you can't really blame her. The game of life dealt her a bum hand. Ilona left war-torn Hungary with nothing but the clothes on her back and a suitcase full of Hummel figurines. She's just met and married an American GI in the romantic city of Heidelberg, Germany. Now pregnant with her first child, she's ready to board a plane for America, where all of her wildest hopes and dreams are about to come true. What she doesn't know is the man she married is a raging alcoholic with a gambling addiction. Let's sit back and watch the fun. Yep. Poor mom. Never hit a jackpot, never got a free spin, but she got me, her little consolation prize. And boy, did I do a lot of consoling. Mom, I know. Mom, I'm sure Frank did not mean it that way. But guys, they're just different. I can't believe we're here in Cancun. You're on the phone with your mother. Shh, she can hear you. Nothing, Mom. It's just Mark. He wants to say hi. Where are you going? I'm going to go hit some balls. I thought we were going to go sightseeing. I thought you weren't going to call your mother. She called me. Okay, she's calling me a lot. But she's always called me a lot. It's like she just needs me. You're the only one, Sheila. I'm the only one. Now, when I was a kid, I took a lot of pride in that because she was fun. I mean, everybody in my small blue-collar town knew that. You're Eileen's daughter? Hot shit, your mother. Thank you, Sister Ricardo. What can I say? She was the life of the party. Oh, and when she started dating, oh my gosh, that was fun. Because a lot of little girls got to play dress up with their dolls. I got to play it with Mom. 6:30 on a Saturday night. Aquanet hairspray, Evening in Paris cologne, and Winston cigarette smoke all mingle in the air, creating a brigadoon like haze in the room. My mother sits in the middle of it. I fluff and tease her blonde hair as high as it'll go, and then spit into a cake of eyeliner and apply it to her eyes, just so. And then, inspired by a particular shade of red I can only see in my mind's eye, I mix and match her little Avon sample lipsticks until I find it on her mouth. Chilagos egem, you're an artist, she says when I finally allow her to see my work. She gets up to light a cigarette, and I run to her closet, fling open the doors. Even though it opens like this, I still go like this. I'm momentarily stunned. I mean, my mother's a clothes horse, but tonight I'm her little jockey. No. Yes. I find this black satin number. It's got this elegant matching jacket that kicks out at the waist. I show her to her as if she has a choice. She's just finished fastening the final garter in her black nylon hose. She takes a gargantuan drag from her cigarette. Knowing it has to hold her over till she's finished dressing. She shimmies in, and then I zip her up in the back. Then I have to stop, because she's so beautiful. My mother is the most beautiful woman in the world. Prettier than any of those women on TV or in that movie star magazine she keeps in the downstairs bathroom. How frantically I rummage through her costume jewelry, pearls or rhinestones. Why not both? I find this perfect combination of pearls and cut glass. The earrings are shaped like leaves, and the necklace comes to a point, accentuating her cleavage flawlessly. Oh, she's going to do so well tonight. She slips on this gorgeous green velvet coat with 3/4 sleeves and a shawl collar, and then long white gloves. A car horn! He's here! She checks her makeup one last time, blows me a kiss, and scurries down the back stairs. And I run to the window and watch her get into a black Cadillac and wave. And then finish her cigarette in triumph. Honey, of course I'm excited about your promotion. And when I get back, we're going to have a huge blowout celebration. I don't know exactly. Well, it's complicated, honey. I mean, there's the paperwork and getting her settled into this new place. And oh my gosh, did you mail that package for me? I asked you last Monday. It's a thing I got from my mom. It went to the wrong address and... What? Well, I've been sitting here waiting for it all week. God, I can't believe I asked you to do one thing and you can't do it. Well, do you have anything to say? I want a divorce. What? Oh my God, you can't be serious. Welcome to the middle-aged trifecta here at Baby Boomer Downs. They're at the gate, and they're off. Jumping on lead is Denial with Botox and Zumba close behind. It's Denial, Botox, and Zumba. But here comes Menopause, followed by Hot Flashes, Night Sweats, and Dry Vagina. Denial falling off quickly with Colonoscopy coming up from the rear. Quickly followed by Successful Ex-Husband, his new blonde girlfriend, and Drinking Heavily. Coming down the backstretch now, Drinking Heavily moving way out in front. But bouncing off the outside rails now is elderly parent with dementia. It's elderly parent dementia followed by support groups, I pee when I sneeze, and maybe I'm a lesbian. Maybe I'm a lesbian now being challenged by I can't handle this going into the clubhouse turn. But passing on the inside track now is goddamn midlife crisis. Hot on its heels, lost youth, broken dreams, no retirement plan, and I am so fucked. There they go, folks. This race is spinning out of control. I can't handle this now in front. I'm so fucked, challenging for the lead. I'm so fucked and I can't handle this on neck, and down the final stretch they go. But what's this? Holy Spanks. Outrunning the entire pack from out of nowhere is just fucking shoot me now. Just fucking shoot me now as I head by a length, by 2. And there it is, folks, at the wire. I'm so fucked I can't handle this goddamn midlife crisis, and just fucking shoot me now.
That's great. Melinda, welcome.
Hi.
I love the horse race sequence. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Oh, it was really fun.
Oh, thanks.
It was fun to watch. I'm used to doing it, so.
Oh, right. Especially watching you did a special Zoom set up for us, and I'm so grateful. It just is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It was really fun, and I do have to give a shout out to Doug Miller, who did the post for me, and Mike Furman, who filmed it, and Paul, my wonderful husband, who did the audio, and Jeffrey Loden. As you know, we have real music, and because of rights, we redid all the music. So Jeffrey Loden did a fantastic job.
I know, that's fantastic that you did that. It just was wonderful. Fabulous performance. Divorce, dementia, and menopause.
Yes.
Trifecta. So why did you write this? You know what? I really want to talk about the show. I want to talk about your mother. Should we just start with why did you write this show?
Sure. Well, when I was going through it, when it happens, you're sort of aware of Alzheimer's and stuff, and then all of a sudden it happens to someone you love, and it's this crash course in so many things. And honestly, it was devastating, and I would write as therapy. So I just started writing a lot, and the more my mom started to forget, the more I started to remember, and that process was really I'd come away from sitting with her, and we'd go through albums and things like that, and I'd come away remembering things that I hadn't thought of in years. And then, of course, it gave me so much appreciation for her life.
What a wonderful character she was. And
yes, she was
Gypsy Rose Lee for you.
Yeah. And she was a larger than life personality, and funny and over the top, and there's stuff that comes with that. And I think also when people start on having the dementia, whenever personality traits they had become exasperated. So she was always fearless, and she was always larger than life, would say anything and everything. But now it was like there was no filter. And it became and then there was no filter on anything. She wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't accept what was happening. I mean, God love her, I wouldn't either, probably, but it was a challenge.
Yeah, it was. Now, she was a very accomplished woman herself, right? She as a single mom, she worked in management in a bank, did she?
Yes. I mean, when you think about it, when she came over here, it was 1950. And, at that time, communism was a real, stigma. And so she didn't want to have an accent. She tried really hard to speak well. She wouldn't teach us Hungarian. She really wanted to be American. And also at that time, you know, she married this GI and I guess didn't really know what she was getting into. And when that went south, there was nothing, you know, she could get a credit card. House was in his name.
Oh,
There was all kinds of things that she had no license. She had no, you know, all these things that she had to just scramble. And from that, she worked her way up from being a teller to being a vice president in a bank, which, you know, in those days was, you know, not many women did.
right. Usually jobs held by men. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It was a very small blue collar town. So, but yeah, she was, you know, very accomplished and she loved the arts. And that was the other thing in our small little, you know, it was a New England factory town. And she just, she was just, sorry, I got so thrown. She was always taking me to the ballet and she had me in dance lessons. She just loved the arts. And I'm so lucky to have been exposed to that. And even though she, you know, definitely pushed me, so she was that Mama Rose character, like, get out there. But without that, I don't know that I would have come to New York, and I don't know that I would have pursued everything that I did.
And you said she would go to all your shows at Chorus Line. She went to many times, you said, even over in Europe.
In Germany. She came over to Germany. She saw me do it there. She when I was on the road, and I know I've got some friends watching that were on the road with me, but she came to all of those shows. She brought a busload of people from the bank to see me in Sweet Charity in Boston, and you know, she was my biggest fan. And
We have a wonderful slideshow that you'd put together. Of course, Kristen helped put it together, of pictures. Can we take a look at that of your mom? Kristen? Those are wonderful. You said she would cross her eyes a lot?
She would. It was her constant joke. No matter the occasion, she would light a cigarette and cross her eyes.
And tell us about the costumes. There was that one picture of her with all the one costume.
I don't know when that was, but it was when she was back in Germany with my dad, and it was some sort of bathing suit that she sewed popcorn on all over. And you know, I guess I have a bunch of those photos in her in various poses.
And she's got her foot on a bottle, and
it was hard to select. And I wanted to show what I wanted to show about my mom is, that she really was beautiful. And that, when you say, why did I write the show, or why did I keep doing it? She was meant to be on stage. I mean, she really should have been. She had everything going for her. She was sharp. She was funny. She was fearless and gorgeous. So, the show is a way to give her stage time, finally.
Oh, that's lovely.
And she would make all those costumes.
And she made all your costumes, or not all your costumes, but she made a lot of your costumes when you were young.
Yes. Yes. And she would come up with these extravagant ideas of what I was going to be in the recital.
You said one of those was the one with Seaweed?
Yeah, Seaweed.
That's
It was
wonderful.
an underwater ballet, and she had this idea, you're going to be Seaweed.
That's
So,
beautiful that you've done this performance for her. And so, so this is a very intense show. I mean, the show really does involve the death of your mom, and it has so many. The section when you're getting her dressed as a kid, getting ready for a date, is so beautiful. And I remember you said that a lot of times Alzheimer's people, they revert to childhood, and but that didn't happen to your mom. She always knew you.
yes, she always knew me, and I really do believe, the power of music and the power of our connection. I would just go in and I would put on like the chorus line album, and she would immediately, come to life, and we'd sing. And I mean, I talk about the different phases that she went through. That, first I would sing for her in her room, and then I would actually get up and dance for her. And, it was just a way of, somehow that music always cut through. And it always was a way to bring her back.
I want to talk more about this because music is so important for Alzheimer's and dementia patients, and there's a lot of statistics too, and some resources that we want to share. I just want to take a quick moment, since we're kind of at a halfway point of the show, to remind our audience that posted in the chat is the tip jar, and your tax deductible support is very appreciated and needed to help keep the Marstream platform available to our communities during this time. And also, we encourage your comments and questions, which already there's some here, so please keep them coming. And the YouTube audience, Brianna and Kristen, will help us keep an eye on that too. So so don't hold back. And let me see, you do have some lovely, Bernadette Nelson said, someone you may know, Bernadette from Worcester, Mass. As a mother with dementia near her in assisted living, and she thinks she saw your performance a few years ago on Cape Cod.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
And
lovely. Oh, thank you for coming.
Marie says, love the horse race. I can relate to her mom's dementia issue. Love the horses' names. Oh, yes. I didn't notice that when I watched it the first time, that you have the little listing of the names there as they're moving up. Lost Youth, I think, was one, or something.
Broken Dreams. Yeah.
Broken Dreams, yes.
I have to credit my friend Doug Miller, because when I originally did this show in the Fringe, he created that, and we used to use it all the time. Moving along with the show, when I took it on the road, we actually got rid of all the visuals, and we just let lighting and sound effects do all the work, because our imaginations are so powerful in the theater. So but he created that, and I just love it. I love him.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful job.
Yeah.
So let's, I know we have some really good resources for people, and we can talk about this both in relation to your mother, but just in general. Tell us some of the statistics of there's about 6 million people living with Alzheimer's now in the United States, in our country, right?
Yes. And it's, it kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. This year, it's going to cost $355 billion in care. And by 2050, it's going to be 1.1 trillion. Then a lot of people, they talk about it as this kind of, with the aging boomer population, it's like this coming tsunami. Mm-hmm. So, and there's no cure. But there are a lot of people doing really amazing things.
Mm-hmm. Now, also deaths increased during COVID. You had
yes, by 16%.
And by 2050, $1.1 trillion. Also, the number of people with Alzheimer's is expected to more than double by then.
Right.
So
that means that I think there's some statistic that I don't have at my fingertips, but it is the how much unpaid care. Like when there's a caregiver. My mom had Alzheimer's for over 10 years. I was a long distance caregiver. So I was back and forth all the time. And, it didn't make for, doing shows. I couldn't do 8 shows a week. And yeah, it sort of transitioned to more of this kind of performance, but still, it just pulls you out of your life. And I don't regret it for 1 second, but it's a lot. And it often falls on the daughters, although there's some wonderful sons out there, I know, but it affects more women, first of all, and more women tend to be the caregivers. No, I wrote this show and I wanted it to be funny because, first of all, my mom is really funny. And I don't want to give away the show. I won't tell you a special thing about it, but
I can't say I've seen the whole show and it is very funny. It's just wonderful. You do such a great job. I just love your show.
Oh, well, thank you. And and there's a purpose to that. I want to raise awareness, and I want people to be able to come, people that are experiencing this. I want them to be able to come and laugh and cry with me. I really, I want to bring them in the theater and create community the same way, you're creating community with these, nightly performances that you do. I just want to circle back to our friend in Worcester because she came to Cape Cod, and I want to mention the Alzheimer's Family Support Center of Cape Cod. Melanie Braverman and Molly Purdue, they were the first people to ask me to do a benefit. And they, there are these 2 women, amazing women, like angels on earth. And they organized, they just went to the Cape Playhouse and said, we want to do a show. And they brought me in, and turned out a friend of mine that I didn't know was the executive director. And, we started doing fundraisers for them, like every summer. And, it was just such an amazing experience. And their tagline is, until there's a cure, there's community. And
lovely.
I love it. And that's really, what it's about.
Yeah, I know we had kind of said Alzheimer's disease is an irreversible progressive brain disorder, and slowly destroys the thinking skills and sometimes the ability to carry out simple tasks. And symptoms usually first appear in their mid-60s, I think, with people. Estimates vary, but
I think estimates vary, and I think it's important to know that there are over 80 kinds of dementia. So it's, Alzheimer's is one. We sort of group a certain number of symptoms into that, but there's many different kinds of dementias, and everybody is different. So I think the journey is different for different people.
Of course,
yeah. And you were saying, I just want to make this one little thing because I was talking to my husband earlier about it costs like $3.5 million to develop one drug. So the investment that the pharmaceutical community is trying to make, it's huge. And often they'll opt for developing a heart drug because the heart is an organ that's simpler to understand than the brain. And so it's a challenge from every aspect because it is a brain disease.
I want to mention too, the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, the AFA, is an American nonprofit organization based in New York City, whose mission is to provide support services and education to individuals, families, and caregivers affected by Alzheimer's disease and related dementias nationwide. As you say, there's so many kinds. And they do research for better treatment and a cure. And the AFA unites over 2,000 member organizations from coast to coast dedicated to meeting all these needs, educational, social, emotional, for people with Alzheimer's and related illnesses. And we're going to post this in the producers will post this in the chat. They offer free screening, free confidential screening. You can go right onto their website and there's a little thing there and you can check yourself if you have any concerns for yourself about having the onset of these symptoms. Yeah. And we've got some more messages. I want to say from Scott Willis from YouTube says, the horse race monologue is absolutely brilliant. I'd forgotten how wonderful it was from the performance I saw years ago. Do you remember how you came up with that idea?
Oh, it literally was, first of all, this is Scott Willis. He's a friend of mine, and we did a show together, like one of my first shows when I came to New York. He's a fantastic performer and wonderful friend. But literally was sitting, I think it was, I was sitting in a room with some girlfriends, and I realized that like I hit 50. My husband had just asked for a divorce, and my mom had, it was literally, I went like, this is the middle-aged trifecta here. And that's when I hit trifecta, I just started spinning, with that, and then just started looking at horse races and, looking at the terminology and just, coming up with the funny names for, each one of the things. It's one of my favorite things. Myself, it's so much fun to do. You just sort of like listen as people like, kind of follow along with you.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I guess it's also the thing that like, you sort of hit a certain point, you think you're going to arrive and life's going to be easier. And you hit like, 50 in the middle age, and it's like, oh no, there's all this other stuff.
A new set of problems.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And again, most Alzheimer's, usually is about 8, 9, 10 years or so. So it was your entire, 50s basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. But, I wrote the show because while it was a difficult time, there were many, many gifts. There were many gifts to get to spend that time with Mom and to love her and to care for her. I mean, I can choke up right now because that was a gift, and it was hard, and so I wrote the show because I wanted to show people that they'll get through to the other side. And I think that's important when you're slogging through something and when it's so painful, and when, I actually can't even imagine how people in the situation with COVID and this, how they got through this year.
Right.
I know how challenging, it is, and how important it is to see your loved ones. And that's why, my hat's off to Melanie and Molly from the Cape Cod organization, because every single day there was another email, there was another, they stayed in that community and they offered support in so many different ways.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And these are really, really good resources. Bernadette Nelson says, I'm a daughter and have all the caregiving responsibilities. I'm fortunate to have a very helpful husband.
That's lucky.
And Kristen, thank you for posting the Alzheimer's Cape Cod. There's quite a bit of information there. Louise Rathkin says, yay, Melly and Molly.
Oh, yes. I know that they also sent out a link for tonight's show. And yes, I know there'll be a lot of fans.
That's great. And Vaughn Harding says, hello, Melinda. So great to see you here. All of us at AFSC miss having you back here on Old Cape Cod. Thank you for all you're doing to get the message out. Come back to us soon. You're missed.
Oh, so sweet. Everyone, hi.
And one more from, I think this is from YouTube, Cindy Berkowitz. Obviously a phenomenal performer, but what I want to share is what an amazing college roommate she was. Imagine living with that laugh every day. What a privilege, such a joy. Love you, she says.
Oh, wow, Cindy. Oh my God.
And from Robin, that's great.
Wow.
And,
wow.
Yeah, Kristen also says her brother cares for a 93-year-old mother who has minor dementia. He can't work because she needs someone there 24/7. He gets paid through Medi-Cal for 12 hours a week, which is the maximum. It's been years now. He's 55 and she's gone. He has to figure out a way back into the workforce. Wow. Yeah. You're talking too about people just don't understand. There was one point in the show, I can't remember if it showed in this one, where someone says you have to move your mother out of here right away or you're going to get charged with elder abuse.
Yes. Oh yeah. That happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us
I mean,
about
I really have so much empathy for this kind of situation, because there's really, it's amazing to me that there really, there's a lot of support that we're posting, but sometimes you're just caught between two, a hard place and a rock. I mean, when my mom, who had, challenging behaviors, I love her, but she was challenging, and we would have people, come to see whether they would take her into a memory care unit, or, I drive all over Massachusetts to find one. And then I'd find one I really liked, and they'd come and interview her. And then one would walk out and go like, no, I don't think so. She's not a happy camper. And it would be like, and so, but I had this amazing experience, and I just hope he can hang in there. I'm a Buddhist, so I mean, everybody connects their own way, but I spent so much time just, I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and I spent so much time, really focusing, and somehow I found a brand new unit that had just opened, and the nurse was Hungarian.
Wonderful.
It was just so kismet. And, when you're in those kinds of situations, like this comment, you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen. You just throw your hands up in the air. But, I hope that you can get some sort of help from some organization. I know there are organizations out there that are just, terrific at helping people with these various things. I don't know where this person is, but.
And Bernadette says she also loves the segment about the vanishing pants in assisted living. I'm sure that's a common thing. You wonder how could that happen, but I'm sure it's probably not uncommon.
It's kind of a running bit in my show, because every time I would show up, they would go like, well, can't find your mother's pants. I'd be like, how many pairs of pants do I have to buy? Just be like looking at the laundry. You'd walk in and somebody else is wearing her shirt and someone else is wearing her slippers, and
oh no.
Yeah, it's these are the things.
And you said at that time it was just you have such a great attitude about it all, and your mother, but she was very angry about having to leave her house, and you kind of felt you were both fading away in a different way. Caregiving is a huge job. Yeah.
Yes, it was really hard, and that comment about fading away, it was really interesting. She was fading, and I sort of felt, when you hit a certain point as a woman, you start to fade away as well. I feel now it's a little bit different. I think there's more awareness now of, women at a certain age, but honestly, it's that's seemed to be what was happening. I was losing her, she was fading, but I was also kind of fading away from society. And, I'm blanking on the joke that I had in the show, but, gosh, there you go. Oh.
Okay, well, we're talking about Alzheimer's, so
yeah,
there we go.
Exactly. It's like
the most common cause of dementia in older adults, it's ranked. Alzheimer's is ranked as the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S. So, and recent estimates indicate the disorder may rank third just behind heart disease. You were mentioning that earlier. So, you know, I don't know if what I was reading is the up-to-date statistic, but we're headed in that direction. We certainly know.
Right.
Bernadette says you don't look faded at all. You look vibrant and beautiful.
Thank you, Bernadette.
And Kristen
I obviously patted the crowd.
Kristen said in Marin County, she learned of this show from Cape Cod, it probably is. She's a social worker and would like to see the whole show. Your perspective is wonderful in acknowledging how challenging caring for a loved one is. Yes.
Yeah.
And Christine Canning says, you will not fade away. You will always shine.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I wasn't, you know, saying that too.
Oh, here's another. Your high school friend, Joe Quinn, watched from the Bay Area. Loved seeing a brilliant excerpt from your show, Mother and Me. Looks forward to seeing the whole show again. Your mom was a memorable character. You have brought her spirit to life here. Bravo, bravo. And delighted that you have connected to our local theater treasure here in the Bay, the Marsh. Bravo, my beautiful friend, Melinda.
Oh, thank you, Joe. One of my dearest friends from high school. It's also been great because I did the show at the Cape and a lot of my high school friends came, and of course they knew my mom, and I knew several people that were in the show, or that I mentioned. So it'd be very funny because I'd mention a name that nobody else would know because, you know, I'm just talking about a character, but then this whole row of people would just roar.
That's great. I have one more comment, and then we don't have a lot of time, and I definitely want to talk about the music aspect. Catherine Lewis says, "Thank you. My stepmother died this year of Alzheimer's, and there was no way to gather to honor her. There's an online New York Times, what looks like artifacts of remembrance. Tell your viewers, and wonderful show. What loss looks like. I see." She's saying, "Readers share artifacts of remembrance." Yeah. An important thing, if we have that, Kristen, or if you can find that one link, it was just the other day we discovered a podcast on To the Best of Our Knowledge about music, and we wanted to talk about this anyway because, and also photos. You would say, you know, if your mother was not remembering things, you could show photos, and it brings back so many memories. But music, according to this 4-part 1-hour series, there were 4 parts to it, and Oliver Sacks was one of the people interviewed and talked about, you know, that you have 30 to 40 networks in your brain, and music crosses different parts of them, and so music just brings people so alive. I know there's been documentaries on this, and this particular show that we're posting it says music, you know. It talks about the importance of music. Talk about that a little bit and how important music was for you and your mom.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, again, because we had that connection, and of course I meant so much to her, the songs from that show and some other shows I did, but that particular one, you know, she really had a connection to it. And
the one that from Gypsy Rose Lee, the one.
Oh no, that one as well. That one as well. Oh yes, yes. When I was a kid, we would drive, you know, to my dancing lessons, and she would always sing like, "Wherever we go, whatever we do," you know, and she would just, you know, be bopping along. And I had no idea at the time that song was from Gypsy, but, you know, it makes perfect sense because she was my Mama Rose. Right. You know, she was like driving me everywhere, making the costumes, getting me, you know, she would put me on the road. I would play the Knights of Columbus with my little tap dance. So, you know, she definitely had, you know, that connection. But any show music that I put on, it would really be like a curtain would go up, and she would be back, and I would bring her some foods and, you know, that she liked, and somehow we could just sort of create our little world. And, you know, there were times that she would, and this wonderful article talks about this. I mean, this podcast music thing talks about, you know, people do go off in their world, and, you know, it used to be that we would try to like, no, we try to correct them and say, no, it's Tuesday, May 3rd, instead of just saying no, and going with them.
That's really an important point.
Wherever they are. And, you know,
Absolutely.
I love this, this show, because now people are really, understanding, you know, that, there's a great point they made that, you know, one of the gifts of Alzheimer's is that everything is now, because you can't talk about what they had for lunch. You can only be in this moment. So there's a gift to that as well, right? Being just right here and really looking at that blue sky and really being together. So there's a beauty in that. But for an Alzheimer's patient who's just in the now all the time, there's no break for them. So sometimes music brings them to this other world.
Absolutely.
You know? And I love what the woman did at the end of that podcast, where she actually really went with that and got them to do theater.
And the language we use, the importance of the language, and so that they can feel a part of that.
Oh, absolutely. Because that's the thing that would really frustrate me. My mom was it was fine. It was, Medicaid. So it wasn't a fancy place. We couldn't afford any of that. But, there's a lot of these places that just want to give them medication to stop the behavior. And I understand the behavior is tough, but there are all these people now that are, discovering that, using music, going with them, improvising with them, going into their world. I really believe that they're still in there. It's just a matter of it's like finding the right door, and I was lucky because my mom and I had that connection. So we had that base and we could build on it.
Well, you were lucky to have each other. She was certainly lucky to have you. And our time has flown by as always. And I just can't tell you how wonderful it's been to have you. Thank you. Very special. Thank you, Melinda Buckley.
And thank you, everyone, Stephanie and Kristen and Brianna, and and you all have been wonderful. And what you're doing is really wonderful.
And Brian, yeah. I'm
Brian, yes,
of course. And so thank you so much. I'm just very grateful for your doing tonight's featured presentation of Mother and Me. Look for Melinda's show and more on her website. Do we have your website posted there? What is the website?
It's motherandmetheplay.com.
Motherandmetheplay.com. And you also will find her on our Marshstream YouTube platform at themarsh.org. And next week, Solo Arts Heal celebrates 1 year with the return of our illustrious first guest, Joanna Rush, actor, playwright, choreographer, dancer, who will perform a new Zoom version of her fabulous show, Sex and Power. And in a talkback with director Seth Wilpan, Joanna probes the complexities of sex and power in today's fraught sexual landscape, drawing on diverse fields of knowledge and presented with the theatricality and humor honed by her years as a performer. So do join us. It's a wonderful show, and it will be our anniversary show next week. So again, with the thank you to Melinda Buckley, Marshstream producers Kristen Scheel, Brianna Caver, our general manager Brian Williamson, and of course artistic director Stephanie Wiseman, and our Zoom and YouTube audiences, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.